everyone, welcome to Burn Pilates. My name is Lydia, and today I'm going to be leading you through a standing bar flow. I'm using a chair along with a Pilates ball and a 3-pound dumbbell. You do not need equipment to do this class. However, I do suggest that if you're using a chair, that you use one that does not have wheels. You want your stability to be a focus. Set your mat up, keep some water close by, and let's get right into our bar flow. Welcome. Just starting standing, rolling your shoulders back, looking around from left to right, just bringing some consciousness and intention into your body right here. Reversing your circles and maybe feeling where you're tight. Give yourself an opportunity to acknowledge any tightness and try to release it right here. Take a soft bend in your knees, reach your arms all the way up to the ceiling and stretch all the way out through your chest and spine. Arms right next to your shoulders. Keep your legs long, pull your ribs in, and from here, reach all the way out and away. I love to start with a postural awakening. Bring intention into your quality of movement and really find this press out as if you're working through water. We call these swan arm presses, but truthfully they are strong. Swans are strong. We think of them as delicate, but they are actually quite vicious. Side note. Keep opening, expanding your chest, and if ever you need to look from side to side, allow yourself that release of the neck. Keep growing taller and longer and start to activate and pressing a little bit more dynamically and fluidly. Wake up those shoulders for 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Take your arms, bring them all the way in front of you, thumbs to ceiling, pinkies to the floor, straighten your thighs. We're gonna do a calf raise. Lift the arms, reach, lower down. Exhale to open, inhale to close. Breathing out as you lift, breathing in as you lower. Pull your core in and make sure your knees aren't bending. You're stretching your thighs through full activation in your floor, lifting and lowering one last time. Take your heels down. Using a chair if you need, you're gonna lift your heels up, and from here, hold, bend your knees now, plie down and up. Just finding your stability, like you're gliding your spine up and down an imaginary wall, shoulders back, rib cage knitted in, sit bones traveling right down over top of the heels. We're not taking a squat, so your hips should not be going back. That's a different movement, but it's not our neutral spine plie, which is what we want right here, to bend and stretch, feeling the whole weight of your body, work your thighs and legs. Inhale to bend and exhale to stretch. We're gonna combine a lower and lift with the heels. Stretch on up, lower your heels, down, up, bend, stretch. Down and up, bend and stretch. Every time the heels go down, try to keep your hips at the same alignment. Stretch that space between your hips and ribs. Lengthen and lift. We're gonna go for a last one here. You're gonna take your next plie, keep your plie, bend in the knees, lower your heels without moving, and lift up. And when I say without moving, you're just lowering those heels, pressing them down as if you're using grass with 3-inch stilettos to feel resistance, pushing those heels down into the grass. Hips are staying level. Just working that ankle flexion, feeling the vastus muscles really turn on here. Take one more rep to lower and lift. Keep your heels up, stretch your legs, and bend. Let's go. 8, bend, 7, 6, 5, 4, last 3, last 2. Let's warm up those thighs a bit more. Keep your bend and small drops of the hips, pulsing, slow and controlled. Press away, release. Ooh, feel the weight work your thighs for 4, 3, 2, 1. Stretch on up, take your heels down and walk yourself out right away. Elongate your spine. Bend and stretch one leg at a time. Try not to push your hips behind your heels. When you're ready, unravel one vertebrae at a time. Take your ball, place it right between your inner thighs, a little higher up than your kneecaps. Bend your knees enough that you do feel that your feet have full weight from your toes to your heels. Your arches aren't collapsing. Reach your arms all the way out to a second position. Roll your shoulders down and away from the ears. Look to left, look to right. Make sure that you don't feel any tension in your neck. And also check that your elbows and hands are in that true second position. You're not bent here. You're not drooping here. You're not in this position either. You're in a nice rounded second, and you're increasing that upper chest and back extension by elongating now. Eyes forward, take it back to a swan arm press. Reach out, extend. Reach out, extend. Open up your fingertips. Keep your knees in a soft bend. Make sure that you feel that your ball is being squeezed. Ribs are knitted into space. Keep the abs tight. Let's go a little bit more dynamically. Start to reach away, increasing the speed, increasing that tension and intention of core activation. Squeeze into the ball. Quick tip, if your knees are squeezing in like this and you're starting to internally rotate, it could be a sign that the ball is not completely in your thighs properly, or that your feet are too wide. You want to make sure that your knees to ankles are even. Keep stretching for 8, 7, 6, 5. Turn on those arm muscles early. 3, 2, last one. Take your arms back to a second position. Stretch your legs up, bend your knees, soft plie, feet staying flat. You want to feel those inner thigh muscles wrap around, like your inner thighs and your groin muscles are eating up that ball. Deep breath in and exhale. Take your hands back to your chair. Let's lift and lower those heels again. Up and down. Ball staying activated through the thighs. Keep pulling up, pubic bone, right in under the sternum. Go for a last set of 2. On the next one, keep your heels high, bend your knees, come down, lower your heels, down, up, stretch your legs. So same pattern as before. We bend, we lower, we lift, we stretch, like your spine is gliding up and down an imaginary wall. Let's just go for 3 more. If ever you're too close to your chair or too far away, make sure you're always moving yourself to be in relationship to it so that you're not leaning forward into it, but also that you're not tucking in forward under it. You want to find that control. Let's go for a last one. Lower, lift. The next time you bend your knees, hold your bend and squeeze your ball. In, release. Ooh, squeeze, release, squeeze, release. So the whole squeeze of the inner thighs is coming from the high inner thigh muscles from upper hip right to knee. Squeeze into hold, release. Collarbones wide, back long, ribs knitted in together. Go for a last set of 4, squeezing in, and 3. Maybe you start to shake a bit. This is definitely gonna heat your legs up. We're gonna take it to a pattern. Stretch the legs, bend the knees, squeeze the ball 2 times. We stretch up, bend, squeeze 1, 2, stretch, bend, squeeze 1, 2, stretch, bend, squeeze 1, 4 more. Ooh, squeeze. Feel the warmth that's coming into your body. Embrace it. 2, bend, squeeze 1, 2, last time, stretch, bend, squeeze the legs, and lengthen up and out. Take the ball out, walk yourself back, and give yourself, again, a stretch. Torso right through the center of the arms. Knees soft, never locking out. Come all the way up. From here, grabbing your weight, You're gonna hold your weight with your right elbow. Bring your elbow right in towards your waist. Knees are soft, right underneath the hips. You're gonna stretch your arm up and you're gonna pull the weight back down, really focusing on the pull as if your weight is attached to a resistance cord that you're pulling from the ceiling down. So I don't want you to throw. I want you to pull so that you are making the muscle on the down. This is gonna get lat, back, bicep. We're gonna keep growing that neck long, making sure that the left side isn't starting to shift, making sure that you're not starting to grow shorter. Exhale, pull down. Deep breath in. Pull down, just like you're doing a single arm chin up in this lateral rotation of the shoulder. Collarbones are wide. Last 4, 3, 2, finish with one more here. Right away, left hand takes the weight, right hand to hip. Make sure you have space, collarbones wide, stretch, pull down. Stretch, reach, pull down. The more you get into this pull, especially in terms of trying to activate your lat, the more you're gonna get into your obliques to stabilize. You should never be getting shorter. The hip shouldn't be moving. Everything is stable and it's really just the arm. You're getting your hoisting muscles on. Muscles that you would use to hoist yourself out of a swimming pool. Those chin-up muscles, those pull-up muscles. Pull. If ever the rhythm that I'm going at is a little too fast for you, slow it down for your tempo. Last set of 8, 7, 6, 5, 4. Ooh, feel the difference on the second arm for 3. Last 2. Finish with one more here. Take your weight, bring it right away into your right hand. You're gonna take your heels together, toes apart, and you're gonna send your hips back right away in this Pilates V. Roll your shoulders wide. Feel how the collarbones are extending from left to right. Stomach wall is pulled in, but you're not tucking under. You're making sure your belly doesn't start to pop out, so you're zipping. Pubic bone in, left hand to the hip, or anywhere else that helps keep your hips stable. Reach your right arm back, and from here, let's bend and stretch. Starting first in that parallel tricep bend and extension, working to garner length from tailbone to the top of the crown of your head. Stretch back. On the next one that you stretch back into, you're gonna bend 2 times. 1, 2, stretch, 2. 1, 2, stretch, 2. So 2 little stops in each direction. Torso staying long, stretch, 2, bend, 2, stretch, 2. Let's go for a last one here. The next time you hold your arm out, turn your palm up to the ceiling, lower and lift. When you lower, try not to pass the profile seam of your shirt. And if your shirt is seamless, the ribs. Don't let your arm pass your ribs or hip. Wrist staying lifted, deep breath in, exhale, lift. Last one, you're gonna take your arm, you're gonna hold it up, start a circle, any direction you wish. Up and around, tricep staying long. Start to feel a little bit more intensely where you're working into the back of the tricep and shoulder. 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, right away reverse, up. Collarbones wide. Keep stretching that arm. Reach it out. Final set of 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Take your arm down. From here, give yourself a moment. Just hold the weight with both hands. Take your heels back together, Pilates V, toes apart. You're gonna roll your shoulders all the way down. Take your arms up. Hold your arms right here, all the way out, stretching forward, or turn your palms in to find a first position. You're gonna lift your heels up and lower down slow. Find your balance, use the chair if you need. Up and down. Now, every time you lift, your heels separate. Every time you lower, you're trying to get your heels to touch and really get them to touch. So narrow your toes if you need to, so that your Pilates V is true to you, and so that you can activate through your glutes as you lower down. Squeeze and zip those inner thighs up. We're gonna lift and lower just a bit faster. Let's go down, up, down, up, down, up, down. Legs tight for 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Take a soft bend in your knees, hips back, right hand on the hip, left elbow up, Pilates V, stomach wall pulled in, right away, tricep extension, reach, bend, stretch. Collarbones wide, keep extending it out. Feel where your elbow is holding it tight, collarbones wide. The next time you stretch is 2 counts, out and in. 1, 2, in, 2, out, 2. Navel in. Glutes are working to keep this external rotation in your hips. This is 3 more. Out, 2, in, 2, 2, 2. Last one, hold your arm out, palm to ceiling. Now you lower down, but you don't pass again the profile seam in your shirt. Think of stopping right at your ribs and hips. Lower, lift. Now pick in your head and decide what direction you're gonna take in your circles. You're taking your arm right up here, deep breath in, circle first direction, up. Keep your circles narrow and keep drawing the left arm in closer towards your ribs. Squeeze right into your armpit. 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, opposite direction. Breathe in it in. And exhale everything out right here. Final set of 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Take your upper body with you. Bring your feet to parallel. Let's bring the weight all the way down. We're going to be using the chair for balance. How you use your chair is up to you. And of course, you don't have to use it. You might choose to use a wall. You might choose to use nothing. You choose and curate your class as always, as you wish. It's your practice. Setting up in a Pilates V, making sure the heels are together, toes are apart, and that if you are using your chair, you have some distance where you're not leaning into it. Take your hips back into the same position we were just working in for our tricep extension. You're gonna reach your left leg all the way out. Find a full extension in arabesque. Make sure that your support is forward, but that your knee is not bending over top of your toes. You're pushing your hips back, and that's gonna be the main difference, is that you're not pitching your body weight forward. You're trying, if anything, to keep moving it back, keep moving that weight and gravity center back. Now from here, flex your left toes on the floor so that you can make sure that you have support from 2 legs. Even if the weight is majorly in that right, you have your left toes also flexed so they're active in the ground. From here, take a full breath in. On your exhale, I want you to push your heel down to the floor. Try to get a little bit of a calf stretch. Now when you lift and lower, notice what's happening with the right leg. It's just reacting and responding. The heel goes down, the knee bends just a little bit deeper. When you lift that left heel up, the right leg isn't stretching, it's just going back to its start position. Flex your left glute when you stretch so that you're pushing down and then pulling up. Get that butt tight. Flex, extend, working activation in both directions. For 3, last set of 2, last one. From here, you're gonna pitch your body weight up and over top of that right leg. Lift your left toes up off the ground, just hover them. Make sure your support is stable and that your hips are right over top of that right glute. Give yourself a soft bend in the right leg. Touch the floor with the left toes and lift, contracting the left glute, stretching that left hip out. We're creating length through our ribs by engaging the abs. Breathe. Inhale. Exhale. Don't swing. Really try to feel you're pushing down and pulling up. So you're lifting, squeezing the butt, but when you lower, you're pushing down, holding your abs up and in. Go for a last set of 3. Up, down, 2. Last one, you're gonna hold your leg up. From here, you're gonna start to circle. Draw a circle, maybe about the same size as what you did for your arms. Try to keep your hands light if they're on the chair. Keep stretching out. Hips pulling up, ribcage knitted in, neck is long. Very often the neck starts to droop or we start to look upwards. Keep thinking of the relationship between the crown again of your head and your tailbone. Switch, reverse the direction of your circles. Ooh, this is a lot of work for that standing right glute. Knee is softly bent. Because it's a lot of work for the standing supporting leg, see how you can activate more into that left side. Can you flex the glute more? Can you really stretch your left leg out so much that the full leg is one long, strong rod of power? Keep circling here for 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Take your leg, bring it all the way in and under you. From here, feet in parallel. See if you can work with balance on this one here. Arms are up or in first position. Lift, lower. Again, think about the heels as they lower down. That's an opportunity to stretch the space between your hips to ribs. Lift, 4, 3, 2, last one. From here, take your arms, lift them up and lower. Keep your legs long, but make sure your back isn't getting arched out. Your glutes are helping you stay stable through your lower body. The abs are keeping your torso stable. Arms lift to 5th, shoulders back and down. We lift, we lower for 5. Exhale, 4. Just like working on the reformer machine, pulling straps. We're stretching out at the same time as activating. It's harder to activate without feedback, so really try to find this for yourself here. Stretch your arms all the way to the side, full reach. We go back to those swan arm presses. You know the movement, so it should be nice and warm in your body. Get into the rhythm that feels like you're extending and retracting with full control. Knees in a soft bend, rib cage pulls in. Keep breathing in, and again, look from right to left or left to right. If you need to relieve tension in your neck. Now hold. Left arm stays out, right arm stretches on its own. We're gonna stretch this right arm all the way out for a total of 16 reps. This is your final set of 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, switch to the left. Right arm staying long, fully extending, fully reaching. Let's go. 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3. Count down, back to the right, just 8 times. 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, switch to the left. 8. Let's count it down. 4 counts. Back to the right. 4, 3, 2, and switch to the left. 4, 3, 2, back to the right 4 times. 4, 3, 2, 1, switch. 4, 3, 2. Take your pinky fingers up, close your arms, then press your palms back, thumbs to floor, pinkies to ceiling. As you open, just flush it out right here like you're swimming and moving in water. For 3, for 2, last one. Take your arms all the way down. Give yourself a reach all the way up and open up your chest. We're gonna stretch it out for the second side. Set up with your hands directly on the chair. Take your Pilates V, bend, hips are back, right toes find the floor, flex them. Start to push into that calf stretch. And as you lower your heel down, your left knee is bending just a bit deeper, but it's staying over top of your ankle and your heel. It's not jutting out towards your toes. We're not bending forward. You're really thinking of that right heel pushing down to the floor so that you're extending and creating length, because as your heel pushes, the stretch here through your body is increasing the length in opposition. Torso's forward, leg is back. That's what you're going for. Now start to activate through the right butt. Squeeze it and clench it tight when you press those toes into the floor and feel your heel peel up off the ground. Let's go for a last 2. Last one. Keep your heel up. You're gonna bring your weight right over top of your left leg and thigh. Hips stay back, little bend into your knee. Right leg floats, and I really mean floats. It's not here, that's too high. You're on a diagonal that's represented from your torso down, so it's shallow. Touch the floor, lift, flex through that right butt to stretch the right hip out. The more you flex your right butt to stretch your hip, really creating that length, the more you're gonna be able to help your abs turn on here. Touch, lift. Maybe arms are off that chair. You're working for length, but at the same time, you're working for stability. Ribs knitted together. Chest and neck long. You'll see me do all this with my hands because I'm doing self-checks. Do your self-checks as well for you. Take your leg down for a last set of 2. And last one, hold your leg all the way up. And from here, start to circle any direction of your choice. Make it small. And think of your leg getting stirred up and around from, yes, your butt, but also from your abs. The abs do that downward motion pulling down. The glute does the upward motion pulling up. And both work to sandwich your pelvis. Circle here for 5, 4, 3. Keep that left knee soft. Feel this work in the left glute. And then again, contract that right glute. Switch directions in your circles. Deep breath in. Arms soft. Check in with your balance. Feel the levels of work change as your hands come off the chair possibly. Circle here for a last set of 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Take your leg all the way through. Bring your feet to parallel. And from here, one last time, we're going to lift and lower the heels up and down. Again, stretching through your hips. If you can take your arms off the chair, lift them off. We add the arms this time. Arms to first as the heels lift. Arms to fifth. So you're always stretching in opposition. Arms go up, heels go down. Trying to find that length, not just through the hips to ribs, but now the ribs to shoulder. 8 more. 7. You could always alternate. It's as you wish. You could always have your hands just simply held in first or on the hips. Go for a last couple of reps here. Challenge yourself. I may have increased a little bit more of my numbers for these reps here. That's okay. Practice it. Lift, lower. Last 2. Finish your last one. Take your hands towards your chair. Walk yourself one time back here. Final stretch. Torso, stretching through the arms. Take a full breath in through your nose. And exhale, unravel, come all the way up. Set it for a wide stretch. Feet wider than hip width distance. Bend your left leg, take your right hand all the way down to the floor. And from here, as you stretch your left arm up to the ceiling, gradually start to push the left foot more and more into the floor to send your body weight into center. Bend your right leg and take your left hand over, cross it. Stretching your right arm up. Follow with your gaze. Use the floor to gradually press the right foot away and down. Take a full breath in and exhale. Keep your legs as long as possible and just find your own personal ragdoll. Knees soft. Deep breath in. Exhale, hands to the mat. Externally rotate. Have your heels looking in, taking your hands to the inside of your thighs. Bend your knees, open in this wide second position, shoulders down. You're gonna keep your hips back and start to apply a light bit of pressure from your hands to the inside of your inner thighs, not directly on your knee patella. You can be right on the inside of your inner thigh to knee, but feel that it's for sure in the place where you can work this opening from the hips. Hold the depth, take a full breath in and exhale. Keep pressing out and keep elongating your spine in opposition. The more the arms press the thighs open, the more the back, head and neck and chest stretch forward. Take your feet to parallel. And from here, just heel toe your way all the way in. Take one final lift and breathe out and open, and arms coming all the way down. Thank you so much for joining me for this class. I hope that you feel the energy that comes through working in standing postures and really honing in on targeting the burn in big muscle groups like the legs, like the glutes, and of course, getting the shoulders and the arms to feel it with our own natural body weight on top of it. If you have questions, if you have comments, leave them for me in the comment section below. You know I love to hear from you, and I so appreciate it. If this is your first time joining me here on Burn Pilates, I invite you to click subscribe and join me for classes that you can curate as you wish into the Pilates practice of your choice. If you're working stability, mobility, or flexibility, this is the channel for you to help you grow your practice. Guys, have an awesome morning, afternoon, evening, wherever you are. Be sure to check out my membership options for more ways you can train with me here on YouTube, and I will see you at the next Burn. Thanks for joining.